What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, May 30th, 2019. I hope you're doing well. Bitcoin on a wild ride today, briefly touching above $9,000. We're going to dive right into that and talk about that. Before we discuss that, I'm going to try and make this video short and sweet for you. I wanted to just kind of talk about real quick the trajectory of Bitcoin. I tweeted a little bit, actually it was early this morning. I said the Bitcoin train was at the station for the last year and a half, opened doors to anyone who wanted to hop on. Now we all sit here as the BTC train slowly departs towards its next stop, 100K. You see my very simple upper trend line, ridiculous trend line. Kind of having some bullish fun with it. I think I'm so conservative and people are used to me being so conservative. Tweets like this kind of like shock people, I guess. You can see Poseidon Lou even saying, Dan is super conservative, 10x squared to the 10th power. What does he really see? So in terms of the trajectory, right, 100,000, and that picture had $100,000 Bitcoin by like May of next year. The one thing, and you can keep an eye on this too, the one thing I'm keeping an eye on right now is if we take into context the low in the last bear market, right? That last swing low and that last bear market to swing high right before the halving. We were looking around 312% gains, right? So how fast, I'm very curious. I want to see if Bitcoin kind of gets ahead of itself here with this long-term trajectory. How fast can Bitcoin get to 312% gains from this previous bear market low, right? So right now, we are around 172% gains. 312% gains is right around, let's see, 312%. I can't get it exactly, but it's right around 13,300. How quick can we get there? You know, are we going to have a pullback soon that's going to stifle the quickness to getting there? But 312% gains right around this halving would put us almost exactly in terms of the trajectory, the consistency of Bitcoin that we have on this chart. But if we do it faster, $100,000 Bitcoin, listen, I'm long-term bullish, everybody. I am very bullish, as conservative as I am. So these numbers are always in the back of my head. I just kind of share it with you guys every once in a while. Let's talk about what's going on right now, though. Bitcoin on the daily chart, you can see, you know, I don't want to spend too much time on the daily chart. I really want to dig into this on the 4-hour, but you can get a sense of what's happened. Most recently, we've had this symmetrical triangle breakout to the upside and some sideways consolidation for the last 3 or 4 days, right? There's a ton of room on our oscillators in terms of momentum. Bitcoin can continue. This last 3 days of consolidation could be a good thing in terms of a bullish continuation for Bitcoin. But let's check out what's going on in the 4-hour. So I tweeted, you know, around an hour ago, Bitcoin getting rejected at 9,000 reminds me of Bitcoin getting rejected at 8,000. I remember this 10% 4-hour candle, and you can see a picture of it right there. There's the 4-hour candle as we broke through $8,000, right? And that was, if we get a sense of when that was, where was that? That was May 13th, right? A couple weeks ago. This just happened, breaking through 8,000. 10% candle right here. You can see if we zoom in right here. Now we're getting a similar type of rejection at $9,000. It's almost like the market just doesn't know what to do, right? It's the unknown. It's the bulls versus the bears kind of struggling together as we break these key areas. So right now the candle's not a 10% candle. We're right around 6.5%, 7% candle, and this is the 4-hour chart. What I want to talk about is this. What should we be looking at right now in terms of Bitcoin and its current momentum and current resistance or support? So obviously we have our targets to the upside, depending if you're looking at a bullish flagpole target, which is this longer target up above 11,000, or just the very simple, more conservative symmetrical triangle breakout, which is just above $10,000. I'm more looking at the symmetrical triangle breakout. I want to see if we can get to 10,000, a little over $10,000. But either way, those are our targets to the upside. We talked about that in the video the other day. But what should we be looking at, especially on a volatile day like this, where we have a pretty dramatic 4-hour candle, right, in formation right now. Well, if we go over to a more clean chart, we can bring out our Fibonacci retracements. And we can take that previous swing low to our most previous, literally as we just got an hour ago, swing high to like $9,100. And we have a nice clear channel in terms of this 786 to 618 Fibonacci retracement for support. And what's good about it is it's pretty confluent with the 50 week moving average. I'm sorry, the 50 moving average on the 4-hour. I'm so used to being on the weekly. The 4-hour 50 moving average. And also just below it is our upper trend line of this mid-range symmetrical triangle here. So a retrace anywhere into the 83 to 81, I mean, we could really call it $8,000 area, would not be a bad thing. We talked about it the other day in terms of when we got that breakout through the upper trend line in the live stream after it happened. I basically said conservatively, I like to look for a retrace to the upper trend line of the pattern that we just broke out of. So this wouldn't be a bad thing. If we get support there, could be incredibly bullish. And if we get a break out of that zone, that could be the continuation that we all want to see into the 9,000s. We really have to track it. We really have to see what happens. But that's kind of what I'm looking at on the 4-hour chart. The other thing I just want to talk about is what does something like that look like? One of the first things I thought of when I saw this triangle, we got the break to the upside, and we're thinking about or anticipating a pullback at the very least, right? A conservative pullback, if we get it, to this green Fibonacci retracement, was a symmetrical triangle that we had when we were trying to form the bottom for Bitcoin. It eventually kind of turned into an ascending triangle, right? Around $4,100 upper trend line, and then we had a lower trend line with higher lows, kind of giving us an ascending triangle that wasn't drawn very well, but that's what we were tracking. But at first we had this symmetrical triangle, and what happened was we had a break to the upside, right? And we saw resistance. We saw resistance at a swing high around $4,100 or so, and then we pulled back down to Fibonacci retracements, which is this low right here to swing high to our 618 to 786 support, right? So that was a nice bullish move in the longer term for Bitcoin. We didn't break back below this upper trend line of the symmetrical triangle, but we revisited it to the downside and we saw support, right? So that's similarly what we're looking at right now in terms of this symmetrical triangle. This symmetrical triangle, not as big or as large, however, it's definitely key in terms of what happens next for Bitcoin. So I would say, 8,300, 8,400 down to around 8,000, maybe 8,100. Let's see what happens if we get support there, if we even revisit it. On the 4-hour chart, what is good is we've gotten a little bit of consolidation, right? So we're nowhere near the overbought area on the RSI. We have a ton of upward momentum available for us if Bitcoin wants to continue to the upside. And these are just some things I'm watching. Let me know what you're looking at below in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Bullish? Are you short-term bearish? Everybody's got a different opinion. I would love to know yours. If you're here and you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of the channel. I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day, and God bless.